Shuggie, Bain. Now, in the words of Dua Lipa,
this book means so much to me, as you can tell by my absolutely worn copy.
Same girl, same. Now, the 2020 Booker Prize was a wild one. Let me tell you that now. Most of the nominees were Americans and first-time writers. So you can imagine how many stuffy British people were upset that this very popular, very distinguished Commonwealth Prize had that kind of lineup. It was a shoo-in that Hilary Mantel would make history by winning her third Booker Prize for the conclusion of her Wolf Hall trilogy. So when she didn't even make the shortlist, there was a sense that, oh, this is a year that anything could happen. And that's exactly what did happen when the prize fell into the rather unlikely hands of Douglas Stuart's Shuggie, Bain, a debut novel about a Scottish boy living with his alcoholic mother and coming to terms with his own sexuality in 1980s Glasgow. Now, as a debut novel, I can't stress how Shuggie, Bain seemingly came out of nowhere and yet became an overnight sensation. Like, there's a good chance you heard of this book before I started talking about it. Truly a testament to the brilliance of this novel. It made an impact because it was so good. Douglas Stuart paints a beautiful picture of stoic Glasgow under Thatcherism, something that I personally wasn't alive to see. So for me, this almost reads like historical fiction. I learnt a lot about the 80s, and it's so wonderfully Scottish, which is something that hasn't always been appreciated by the Booker Prize. I think of when James Kelman won, there was a lot of criticism. It's one of those heart-wrenching stories too, where things start to get better and you get hopeful, and then it dashes you back into like the deepest despair that never quite leaves you. It's so hauntingly emotional, and I think politically it's a big reminder of how even today Westminster still mistreats Scotland and that big question of Scottish independence. So this is a very relevant book as well. It has so much spirit. The writing, emotional writing, is a tightrope because you want it to feel personal, but at the same time, it can't just devolve into the author trauma dumping onto the reader. This story is a masterclass in creating, the peaks and the troughs, taking the reader on that journey where even though they're upset at the end because of what happens, they're at least glad that they picked up the book. You won't be surprised when I tell you that Shuggie, Bain is currently my favourite Booker Prize winning novel. I love it so much. My grade is S+, 5 stars, whatever you want to call it. It's crazy that I've not yet read Young Mungo. I will definitely get round to that at some point because, my God, I cannot recommend this enough.